Hey everyone, it's Off the Rails Sports with your friend and Rail Bert, Bert Beiswanger. How are you today? I hope you're having a great day. Awesome Thursday. We're past hump day. We're rounding the we're rounding the turn and heading for home, as they say in horse racing. And they say a lot in horse racing, but that's one of them. So good on us for making it through this much of the weekend. Coming up in the weekend tonight, we've got the first preseason game of the Indianapolis Colts. I don't typically spend a lot of time on preseason football. There's just too much other stuff going on. MLB uh, is coming down to the wire. Tons of good races going on in MLB, and so I don't spend a lot of time watching a ton of preseason football. Um, but the Colts do play tonight at the Ravens. Um, so it's interesting more so than other years because we've got the quote quarterback battle going on between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, who the Colts brought in this year to um, to spurn some competition. Um, my 2 cents is uh, it's good insurance first of all because there's no track record of proof whatsoever that Anthony Richardson will stay healthy. But um, I also believe that there's the best is yet to come with Anthony Richardson, and as bad as last year was, his rookie year was better than that. Even though he only started 4 games. I think he started now a total of 16 games. That's too early, folks. Let's pump the brakes. Um, he's got an enormous amount of talent, and I think he will show better this year than he did last year. Now, having said that, no guarantee. Certainly, health is no guarantee. Um, but I feel pretty confident that we're going to see a much better Anthony Richardson. And I think part of that also too. Well, it'll be on him, obviously, but I think he's going to have a. I think it's going to be a little bit better team around him. I think the weapons that he'll have this year um, are going to be much better, especially at tight end for sure. Um, think about that. I mean, a very inexperienced quarterback, a guy who started 4 games in the pros and 12 in college, 11 in college. Um, Going into last year, he didn't even have a tight end one or two, in my opinion. Uh, so that's just inexcusable for a young quarterback to not have a pretty reliable tight end. And then the wide receivers, the Colts don't have a wide receiver one. They don't have Justin Jefferson. They don't have Malik Neighbors. So, they've got guys that sometimes catch the ball and sometimes they don't. Um, and Anthony needs people that can catch the football when it does hit him in the hands and not have hit him in the helmet and bounce off. So we'll look for improvement from him and we'll look for improvement from everyone. And I think we'll see it. And I think barring not making the simple plays, the routine plays, and injuries, Anthony Richardson is going to be your starter. That's I honestly don't think I don't think there's a chance that he won't be the starter unless again he shows horribly and or has injuries. That's my opinion. Daniel Jones has been in the league 4 years. Let's not act like he's some savior. He hasn't been good before. I'm not sure why he'd be much better now. Maybe he will. Maybe he will. Look at Sam Darnold. We hated Sam Darnold. Called him a bust, right? Last year, all the Colts fans wanted to sign Sam Darnold from Minnesota after his year with the Vikings. Of course, you had Justin Jefferson. That's a small tidbit, but anyway, it's fans are funny, and they're allowed to be. But at the end of the day, Anthony Richardson um, and the Colts still went 8-9 last year, and they're a dropped fumble on the 1 yard line Jonathan Taylor celebrating, going into the end zone to go up 2 touchdowns at Denver. They're that drop fumble away from being a playoff team, being in the playoff picture. That's it. You can call on other plays you want, but that's, to me, the most inexcusable play that cost the Colts the playoffs. Um, so, but moving on this year, let's see what we got. It's preseason. Don't overreact to any of it because defenses are not, they're not balling out either. They're not showing anything terribly difficult or unique. All right, speaking of the NFL, the deal that was announced between ESPN and the NFL Network, ESPN acquiring the NFL Network, other NFL media assets, which includes the Red Zone, in exchange for 10% equity stake in ESPN. So it's funny how that's worded, because frankly, I could look at it as the NFL acquiring 10% equity stake in ESPN, but they lead with ESPN acquiring the NFL Network. So whatever. This is good for the NFL. They get to unload properties that weren't really their NFL Network was. I think they've been trying to unload that for a while, from what I heard the other day. So they get to do that, but they don't. They're the main media partner with ESPN, so they get a 10% stake. They'll get a bunch of say in how everything looks and feels, and I don't mind that at all. I wish I wish I wish TNT could have acquired a 10% stake in ESPN, and made their NBA coverage better last year. But hey, we'll see what happens there. That's a story for another day. So it's a win-win. Well, it's a win for the NFL for sure. And I think it's a win for ESPN. They get some revenue that they need, and they get some guarantees of Monday Night Football moving forward, and some extra games probably on whatever Thursdays or whatever it is. So that's good. All right, that's about all I got for right now. Going to head out to Horseshoe Indianapolis tomorrow night. I'm always trying to get people to the horse track because I just think, man, if you get there, it's such a fun time for everybody. You don't have to bet much. You don't have to bet at all. Free admission. There's races going off all the time. Um, and but for Horseshoe Indianapolis, it's hard for the average family to get out there because they race Monday through Thursday, typically first post at 2:10, and so they have these not random, just every once in a while they'll do a Saturday night race or Saturday night of races or what have you. Tomorrow it's Friday night, Silks and Roses night, featuring an evening dedicated to ladies in racing and raising funds for Indiana women in need. So there you go. That's the cause. Silks and Roses. There'll be all kinds of activities. Hey, you're not doing anything or don't do the same thing you do every Friday night. Let's go out to Horseshoe Indianapolis. Join me. We'll have a good time. All right, that's all I got. Have a great rest of your day. See you, everyone.